Welcome back. We're here to do the super chats. I'm a tad bit early to get you guys already in the mix, and we are going to be going into it shortly. Okay, we're going to get straight into it. You can see my ugly head on the screen, and we are going to talk about your super chats and the energy that is coming up this week. Now, I'll grab the astrology up to have a brief chat about it. I will be in the future doing lunations. If time permits, I will do the update towards the Mercury direct. We do have some scheduled posts that are going to come to you publicly due to the fact that I have a very busy schedule. I've got some health things going on at the moment. So you'll see those coming up in the community, and they're really going to help you guide through the process of the transits and how things can be happening and any new situations that are going on within the network. Now, separately, if you do want to join membership, that will be open at some point. I'll give you more details about that as all the, retrogrades, the directs happen. But you can sign up to it within the website. I have done some updates on the website. So if you do land on it and go, what the heck is this website? It has been updated. So if you haven't subscribed, you get a monthly edition free. And that gives you a PDF guide. And separately, it will keep you in the loop about what is happening with Sage in the Circle Network. But you can go to the landing page within the website, and that is actually going to show you what the new things are coming. Now, we're going to briefly look at the transits and how these situations, and we did always say astrologically, the first 3 to 4 months of this year were going to be pretty pivotal, and a lot of astrologers were looking at that frequency to see what the signatures are going to be. The interesting part is when Mars is transiting, my recommendation for you guys would be not to make rash, abrupt decisions, okay? You need to wait really for the lunation for Mercury to go direct. I think we have actually moved through a lot of integration of late. So that's all the way down to, how you've directly dealt with triggers, how you have, hi Stella, how you psychologically have been, affected by certain things. And it can be that we do need to tune out a little bit of social media if we are getting triggered and really anchor in and, make a list about the things that you want to achieve. Make a list of yourself in a sense of a priority. And not to get away with the white noise. It is important to know what is going on with the cosmos, but at the same time, it's good to be able to integrate and stay present and to have that self-focus, especially if you do know where the lunations actually are occurring for you. You need to look to where Jupiter is for you in Cancer. Again, it is going to take on that signature of the nodes, especially because of the degree point. And also, it can be a lot to do with family at the moment, your home, your well-being, your nurturing, your emotions, how you handle your emotions. Are you triggered? Are you getting quite projectile? And I have noticed the signature of both Saturn and Neptune and Aries coming through for certain zodiac signs extremely, I would say, assertive. So it could be that your assertive frequency actually does start coming through. There was also moments where you might have felt like reaching out to particular individuals. And I would say actually trust that instinct, especially because we do look at the North Node in Pisces as ending chapters. If that's something you're not wanting to end, It's something you should be turning in towards and really actually looking at it, doing it in quite an adult manner, actually listening. It was something I really talked to my sister about last night. And it was how sometimes we might come across, it could be an article, it might be something we see, and it really irks us. And our natural instinct is to delete, to disengage, and to move away from it. And what I found myself actually doing is sitting in the uncomfortable and hearing other energies out so that we're not getting very close-minded, which was definitely a potential with Pluto and Aquarius and pack mentality. So, what we're not wanting to do in the collective is get to a space where we're not seeing both sides of the story, where we're not actually looking outside the box, and we can be really working very positively at the moment. There are some aspects where some positive energy could come through. It is about divine choice, though. So how we show up is really going to count at this point in time. And when we do look to frequency, you actually can see how, with Earth Hertz, anything down to meditation is really going to aid you at this point in time. And what you can find is energetically, I don't know if you've ever noticed, you might be thinking of a song and then suddenly it comes on the radio. And, one could say, hey, have I actually, in a frequency sense, manifested that, or have I just directly tuned into it? And I think, it's a little bit like walking on a carpet and you touch something, you're exchanging frequency. We actually effectively can change Earth Hertz by our demeanor. So if you have felt a little bit stuck, like you can't change something, maybe going into the vortex of saying, okay, that channel energetically, the thing you're tuning into that you're not liking, tune out of it like it's not able to be occurring. And, get to a point where you turn that energetically off in your mind and you tune into a different timeline of what you would prefer. And I do think for a lot of us, we can really be having this revelation through these retrogrades about where imbalances were, maybe things that we directly had outgrown, accountabilities that we directly needed to take on board. And, I really feel we're going to uncover some things within ourselves. And I think that's resourcefulness. I think it's many times when we get very tired, we tend to say to ourselves, oh gosh, I've really reached the end of my tether. I can't go on. And it is about that hope and it is about that positivity, but it's also about the frequency of looking deep down inside yourself and finding that resource. So I do think we may directly surprise ourselves, but this is going to also be a process, especially with Saturn and Neptune in the mix. So those new seeds that we're going to be moving towards, things are really by April going to start amping up. And there are some trigger points in April, but we will see turning situations and really having some signatures, I would say, in the next 2 weeks about what direction we want to go. But we do need to be extremely intentional with not severing bridges where that may not be necessary. So how could that show up? Getting triggered and saying some things in haste, becoming abrupt with your decision making without thinking about consequences, and responsibility. So I think it's very important also to take that into context, but it may also require you in some context to have some courage really moving towards particular areas of your life. So again, it will depend on where you have Pisces and Aries in your chart. Jupiter also coming back online is going to be moving shadow direct. We're really going to see that picking up of momentum, and we can see increased subject matters towards home, family, children, mother, nurturing, where safety is, maybe some new rules, maybe some new judgments about, what we're going to do. And this can be a really great time to clean your home, to remove things that you feel don't resonate with you at this point in time. So it can be that you don't function as well when the home has so much clutter. It may be you have outgrown the use for certain things and you're needing to make room for the new. And so by clearing that environment, it's actually creating that space for that fresh beginning. So some of you, again, I would say you're just going to feel very foggy based on the fact that we have the North Node there. It's in the 12th house, confusion galore, not really knowing up from down. I do think that energy is going to subside. And I think if you can move into the creative mind, that was another thing we really discussed last night, is that when I was living in a different country, and sometimes we need to look to the yin to the yang, and it's the we get very fixated on this is this and that is that. But it's when we have less, we are more creative. And so we can become extremely creative and innovative during this time. And it was an experience I had living in Cyprus many moons ago. And I was, born in a Western country. So it was quite shell-shocking for me initially. You don't think you maybe are snobby, but yes, when you are faced with living in different circumstances, you realize effectively you can be. So it was a very humbling experience. But the thing that was so profound to me was actually watching children become extremely creative by just picking bits and pieces and braca and turning things into toys. So that's one way as human beings we can become creative with the resources we actually have. And I think it's food for thought in the context of what we directly are dealing with right now. If you feel you don't have tools, use the ones you have on hand, eliminate the things you don't need right now, and really turn into writing some lists down about what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And don't put so much pressure on yourself that it has to happen in 24 hours. Because energetically, even psychically, I do feel you have time. We're going to get into the super chat. So I'll just double check if anyone else has added. Stella, you've added. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone else? I'll check these up on screen. Baydor, that makes sense. I've been very selective about, and look, 12th house also can be very secretive. So yes, it should be that you are more selective about whom you're communicating with. It could be ideas, guarding your privacy. You might feel that you're more introverted at the moment, so you might seek out counsel, you might seek out support, but then find you don't really want to be there. Have you ever noticed sometimes we might go to a friend's house and then all of a sudden it's like you just want to go home because you're psychologically processing? So there's a lot of processing and unpacking we're doing at the moment. And yes, this can come down to individuals that have passed over. It could be memories of those individuals. It might be that we are going through those circumstances right now, and we can find that we're needing a private moment to unpack that situation in some shape or form, to do with endings, to do with fairs, and to do with brand new seed of beginnings. And there are these new beginnings that we're having, and there is going to be energetically new things we become excited about. That's one way I'd put it. So I'll update the list. You can definitely tell that Kiwi energy in me. I was born in New Zealand. Still. Have I missed anyone? If I have, tell me. And we are going to get straight into the super chats. Yeah, so a lot. There's a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some cold. I did mention over the next 6 months, we're definitely going to have some cold cases cracked. I definitely feel that. It's funny that our Venus retrograde this year is actually, that's a bit of a worry to me, because I already saw that there and had marked it in my calendar to reference. We are going to have webinars that I'm going to be posting on the website for particular transits to get you guys ready. So if you do want to join, I haven't opened them all up yet. I'm working on them behind the scenes when I got 5 minutes. Tons of processing going on for you. Yeah, that Gemini axis, well, it's going to be very changeable for you, Dawn, because, Uranus is actually moving into Gemini next month. So those changes you're wanting to make, they are going to come. For a lot of us, I always used to use the analogy of being careful what you manifest. And we do actually have, theoretically, I am going to be mentioning financial astrology through the membership site. We're opening up one room that is going to be dedicated to that, and that's going to be in the astrology room. So yes, obviously YouTube will get content, but the more in-depth content, you're actually going to get that through the membership site if that's something that you're directly interested in. So we do go into talking about the transits and where these you know, sweet spots can be, where the caution spots can be for you moving forward. But one of them was during that Venus retrograde, that it can be oil prices, and such is already happening. So it'll be interesting how long this actually lasts for technically, because where the Venus retrograde happens is months away. So let's hope it's not going to transition through that. It can actually spike up again next month because of particular positions, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so who do we have first? We have Cosmic Journey. Hi, Lois. How are you, love? I was actually thinking about you the other day. How's your tribe and family going? Tons of processing. So has it been romantic inclinations, or has it been economical? Has it been home-based? Like, what subjects do all of you feel have been coming up? Has it been one set area, or has it been everything? Because I really think from many of us, it's been our health, it's been how we're managing things, it's revelations about accountability, and oh gosh, I need to go back and do that. So it's been a lot. It has been a lot. And I think if we can be gentle with other people, that it pours on that empathy to them, because it is happening collectively. We're all going through this simultaneously, and that's the difficulty. Okay, let's see what's coming through for Cosmic Journey. Oh, you go. What way do you want to go? You got one card that just flipped out to the right. You're wanting to be very careful about what you're selecting. You got the Seven of Cups as a potential outcome. Health and family, yeah. Well, again, for Leo and Cancer, it is very much that. It's even more profoundly so, especially because we did just move through the eclipse in Virgo. You guys directly are the luminaries, so you know the sun and the moon. So Cancer, and those of us wherever we have Cancer and Leo, there are those key subjects coming up. Okay, what do we have for Cosmic Journey? You're like, oh God, okay. You're like the cycle, moving forward. No, do I go back? You feel like you're in a bit of limbo at the moment, okay, which is perfectly normal. Healing away addictive tendencies. It's in reverse. It could be that you feel quite run down. It might be that you have felt as though you've been going left and right. You don't know up from down. And you're wondering how to get out of this cycle, and it can feel like a karmic cycle. Yeah, it's like, how do I get off this Ferris wheel? Is it me? Is it the collective? 9 times out of 10, when the nodes directly are moving through your zodiac sign, it is directly happening in your world. It's lots of changes, and especially more so for Virgo and Pisces placements at the moment, because they are at that critical degree point. So I would say your ascension process can be even more profoundly accelerated than probably anyone else that has had those experiences with the nodes. So for you guys, my heart goes out to you. But believe me, anything that is transitioning and transforming, it's really going to be quite positive in the long run for you. So please do trust that process. But definitely it can be that you're actually thinking about that. You're going through that transition, and you know it feels like you're going in circles, but you're getting nowhere. I would look at what you can do in a very practical manner in the 3D, anchor your energy in, get the rest where you can. And you know, it could be that you're having revelations of old patterns and you're like, why the hell is this coming up? I actually feel you're going to move through it quicker than you did before. And it is because you are moving into this abundant, lighter, new beginning, where your energy is moving towards. But at the moment, it can feel a little bit stifling, a little bit heavy, really looking back to sometimes it's like, do I stay, do I go, do I free myself from something, but I'm directly tied into something. So I do see a sense that it's a catch-22, but I also see that there's a feeling, how do I explain it? Hi. It's like there's something to salvage here. So there is some value in it. I don't think it's that it's not valuable. I think there is something that is valuable here. You're just kind of confused about how to go about that. And I think as we do reach that new moon in Pisces, between I would say the 18th and the 21st, I do think is going to be pretty profound. So I think that is going to be something that is quite positive for you. If you're getting this kind, how do I explain it? I get this image of a person being inside a canoe, and it's like they've reached the edge of the rapids and they're fiercely kind of rowing backwards. It's like you're looking at something and going, that's not for me. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people start having this. If they're like, but that wasn't the rapid I was going down. That wasn't the rapid I chose. Like, I wanted to go in this opposite direction. So they're fiercely paddling backwards. And I get that you're going to know what's for you and what's not. And generally we do, because even if we've been like lying to ourselves, we kind of get to a space where we're like, hell no, I'm not going down that road. That's not for me. So we're actually going backwards. And I do get, oh, welcome. I do get that's how you're kind of going. I think, again, I don't think you're going to make a wrong move here. I do think, especially because of where your outcome card is, you got the 7 of Cups, it's on the side, it's sort of flicked out off to the corner. It's like, no, I'm not playing that game anymore. So you do know, it's a little bit like being able to smell a rat. That's about the best way I can describe it. It's like you can actually sense what is going to be correct for you, what to trust, what not to trust. Sometimes when we're going through an ascension process, an awakening, or however you want to compartmentalize that, you have this fear that you're going to be tricked or you're going to be lied to him. And the energy of Pisces at the 29-degree point and the new moon is emotionally, if we let our emotions get away with us, yes. But if we are intentional in being aware with our wisdom that we've carried with us and being emotionally, how could I say it? I can't say we're all emotionally stable right now because we're having ups and downs. But what I can say is you've had experience here. So because of that experience, you're not looking at things like you're in La La Land. You're looking at it very realistically with an ability to decipher between truth from falsity. So I do think what you're going to choose is going to be something that's very heartfelt, something that is for you. Can energies change? Yes, I truly do believe so. You will know, though, within your sixth sense, if that is the case and this is ready for that transition. So I do think that is something that you should be very positive about. If you're pivoting in business or doing something in your career, I do see the pivots being positive, but I do feel what they're trying to show me is stepping back from the painting and pausing, not to make any rash decisions, and to look back at what you can create, because they're saying this isn't over yet. Like there's more you can do, that you are going to get some forward momentum here. I hope that helps. Okay, who do we have next? And I'm sorry if I'm not reading the chat while I'm channeling and reading the cards, but yeah, I'll bounce in and I'll have a quick look. So who do we have next? We have Research Clue. What did I miss, Lois? Next week. Ooh. We were actually talking about this the other day. I had a beautiful client come in that I've had, for a while, and pregnant, so wishing her the very best. Haven't seen her in God knows how long. But we were talking about the children actually being born during this time, and they are going to be pretty psychic. They're going to be pretty intuitive. They can be very peace orientated as well, being that the energy is there, Pisces. What a remarkable time on the energy level. Ending some new beginnings. Okay. So, research clue. Do we have research clue in the house? So what else have we all been having? Like, have we thought about creative projects or sustainability, or has it been wellness and family? Like, A lot of these subjects are coming up. Oh, you're like, you know what? Read that storybook t-shirt, didn't like it. You got book in reverse. You're like, nah. You want a new storyline? Like, I don't. Is there something that's coming in? And this could even be an attitude. It's like somebody maybe was to message you, you probably wouldn't read it. They're saying, read it. They're saying, read it. You read the old book, you haven't read the new book, read it. It's like, yeah, sort of like, yep, no. It's almost like that moment when we know we want to know, but we're almost like we're dreading what we would know. A lot of people always say, I just wish people could be transparent with me, but the truth hurts. Many times, it took me a very long time to become comfortable with truth. And believe me, there are so many versions of truth. There's your truth, there's the other person's, there's perspectives, and hurts can become truths. So, sometimes we say we want the truth, but then if we renegotiate the other's truth, does that mean we actually are open to truth? Perspective. So, yeah, third eye. You're like, do I want to know? Do I want to know what's going on over there? Do I want to know the reasons why things happened? Probably not. What now? Who wants to talk? There's someone who wants to talk. There's someone who's on the energy spare for you in communication. It could be that you're being cautious about what you share also. You're not being that open book. You're being protective. You're being closed off, and it's intuitively so. Part of you is like, are you going to go back into hermit mode? But I think it's more a mundane sense than a psychological sense. I think when you are in hermit mode, it is actually aiding you with processing. They're saying this isn't forever, so it's not like you're tapping out and you're just going to hide under a rock. They're saying it is serving a purpose. It has actually helped anchor you in and ground you. But they are saying there are some transitions you're going to be moving through. But it's almost like if you're going to make sacrifices, make them for the right reason and make them in a very, how do I put it? It's almost like not going back in the exact same form you did before, because they're saying you might be gaining strength now, but you're going to end up straight back in the same position. So what they're wanting you to do is during this energy where you're in this hermit mode and going, look, I just can't be bothered with any white noise, you're coming back out of it. You'll be willing to make the sacrifices you need to, and you'll have the strength, but it's almost like, oh God, I've got to climb up and up the mountain. Sometimes we can have these fears. And that was something I said the other day when I was having a chat to an individual, and I said, what does strength mean to you? And sometimes we take the context, we have wings associated to words. And for this individual, strength meant, gosh, I've got to fight. I've got to really climb. I've got to really work hard. Strength can be something you've achieved through a circumstance. It's already occurred inside you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that, oh my gosh, you're going to climb another mountain. If our intention is to achieve a goal, yes. If your intention is to give your power away and to do that, then maybe not so. So it's an intentional. They're saying be very intentional about what your energy and your strength is being moved towards. I do think you've really transformed as well. So the way you respond to situations now, I think because you've had a bit of time out, you're actually realizing how much you have changed and how much it's almost shocking. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like maybe something that used to trigger you a long time before, it just simply doesn't trigger you in the same way. And it could be because you've had that rest. It could be because you've had some gained perspective during this time to do the inner work. Does it mean you've completely come up with the solutions yet? No. They're saying that is coming. Rest assured it is coming. You have, it's almost like this hyperdrive masculine frequency. Shelter, food, resources, home. You're tired. You feel you in one way, it's almost like sometimes we have to be taking on a particular energy in life, and that's for survival instincts. It's home, shelter, food, water, etc. We've got the it's sort of like even maybe when you were in connections, you had to do that. So it's like it's a catch-22. It's like if I'm in one, that's what I'm doing. If I'm out of one, I'm doing that. And I do think collectively that is going to be a common signature, especially because we're going to have Saturn and Neptune and Aries. It is going to be about each party really pulling their weight. And I do think that Aries energy is going to require that. It's like, what are you doing in the mix of this? How can you, Pluto and Aquarius, work with the team? So you have had this heavy weight on your shoulders. And I think with you looking outside the box, you're sort of like, okay, what time has that given towards my hopes, dreams, and aspirations? What time has that given towards me actually being open to relationships, connections, and the things that I'm really passionate about? And it's almost like your body is now going to reject going back to that same frequency. Now, you are going to become more open, and I do see energy of emotional connections coming in for you, support of some description. And, it's almost like because you had that time out, you've had a revelation that you're not just a worker, that you're not just a provider, that you're a human being that has those natural needs. And you don't necessarily have the solution right now, but universe is saying you're going to have it. They're going to come to you. This is going to come to you to give you a solution. And they're saying when that door is given to you, take that door, because it is going to give you a different way of being. And I also feel that there are some energies that are really matching you at the moment that have gone through the same thing. And because of that, what you are going to attract in is an equal pair that actually grasp the concept of what you've endured. But there's more. How do I explain it? They're saying, yes, family's going to be safe. Yes, your wealth is going to be good. But they're also saying it is going to be different in the way you're going to do it. So all they're asking you is to be open-minded. And if you can be open-minded, they're directly going to bring you some solutions, which is also going to open some doors for you to have enjoyment, less stress in your life. So they're saying just please be open to that because they're bringing solutions. Okay, who do we have next? I've had terrible hay fever. Anyone else had the hay fever? The other thing is, with that Pisces energy, I would not be surprised if we have floods or water subjects going on, as well as earthquakes. Because it's where Neptune was. It's also at the critical degree. Between now and next month, I'd say. So we have Tracy. You're most welcome, research. I hope it helped, love. So who's had technical issues? Plumbing issues galore. Bicarb soda. I'm decluttering, plumbing, it's Pluto in nature. Looking at different ways you can get rid of waste in the home. Recycling, that's going to be a huge one. When we look at Pluto, there can be benefits there. So we're definitely going to see certain trends with industry really building up. It can be group endeavors. It can be, great ideas, innovation happening with individuals seeing a niche market. But yes, Pisces, where's that position for you? What do you have in your fourth house? Not that it can just show up there. But again, we're bound to have something happening on the home front. home repairs, home cleaning, some of your projects, or if you guys haven't been able to get on top of your projects at home, it could be all of a sudden you go into spring cleaning mode. You have forward momentum. It might have been, say, you put some plans in and you were waiting for when those plans were going to come through. So you had the go. They can be starting to move through. Putting your resumes out, that can be boding very well at the moment, because as we get that movement of Mercury going station direct and the new moon, you can actually create some new resources in that area. And there is a possibility, like I said, I'll be mentioning it inside the membership, of the billionaire's degree. So for certain zodiac signs, that can be a possibility too. Again, that's not financial advice. Just for the YouTube and legal algorithm. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my drink. I'll be back in 5. Also feeling bloated. Yeah, good time to really detox at the moment. We had a potential through these transits that we would go into emotional eating. If you've ever had that in your life, it could be a flare-up for some of us, especially where psychology meets that situation. What can be some really great outlets is, instead of moving into a pattern or a habit we've had, actually pouring our energy into maybe the more Virgoian tendencies, which is cleaning your house, exercising, and I would say light exercising, because we still do have Mercury retrograde, so you can be accident prone. I have an injury. I'm physio. So doing things like that is going to pour your energy into a subject matter. I even said to my husband, when I do get up in my head quite a bit, what I find is, especially with that Virgo being over the 12th house, is become organized, because you feel, or pour your energy into something over obsessing over circumstances. So that's where we can actually get that balance. And the digestion after eclipses for a lot of people is still sitting pretty heavy. So I've found I've really gone off my food. If I am eating, I need something that is full of sustenance. But you'll find certain foods just sit super heavy at the moment. Okay, so we have Tracy. You're having some upgrades. That's interesting. Okay, your guides are coming in and they're saying, we want you to trust what we have coming for you. We want you to trust that all of this was not for nothing. They're also saying, if anyone in any shape or form has ever made you feel that you're unworthy in any shape or form, it could be at work, it might be saying you're extra, like whatever it is, they're saying, don't listen to that shit. Because your essence of who you are, there are going to be people that are coming into your life that are going to so greatly appreciate you. And, the energy, I'm hearing the term a moth to a flame. So they're saying to you, you're a light worker. But what I'm seeing is, what they're showing to me, you're going to be graced with who you really are. You're going to be honored for who you really are. You may not have felt that. You might not have felt protected. You might not have felt as though people, it's almost like the Cup song, you're going to miss me when I'm gone, but it's more in a comedy sense, because it's almost like people turning around and going, wow, okay, this person has boundaries. This person's assertive. Having a boundary doesn't mean you're not worth it. Having a boundary or having a standard or being helpful does not mean you're a doormat. So I think some people have really misinterpreted you, misunderstood you, and I think they're going to really regret that. But they are saying that there's going to be some people that you really, really can trust coming into your world, and it's going to make you feel very, very special. It's people that really back you for who you are. Yeah, it's the freedom. So finally, it's almost going to be like you can finally be, we've always wanted to be the quirky version of ourselves. We've always wanted to be warts and all the individual we are without having to worry or watch our backs. And, you know, I used to have these things told to me, which was you always keep your enemies close. And that is a real yes and a no. It's more you accept people for who they are and not own it and take it on board that that's about you, and you move your energy forward, and it teaches people how to treat you. It's not shaming those individuals. It's okay, that's you, this is me, but I'm not going to own that. This isn't about me. And I think you've come full 180 here, and I just don't feel anymore. It's almost like you're not going to allow other people's energy to pull you off axis. You know what I mean? It's like, no, that's not about me. That's about you. Now, initially you might have felt, I'm too much. I'm extra. People don't understand me. I've got to try harder. And that was exhausting. It's like that has died for you. That's like it's just probably since September, October last year, you're like, that does not resonate with me anymore. I cannot be that individual. Because what it does is in a frequency sense, it holds us back. It almost gets to this point where we've eliminated everything in our life. We're sitting in the middle of a room and it's completely empty and there's nothing there. It's like, okay, well, this wasn't my full intention. How did I get here? And then you come back into society and you're like, no, I'm going to circle myself with being me, with the people who want to be with me, not holding on for grim death, like, you know, this is my last supper, but really being open to, if you want to walk with me, that's great, but if you don't, you can go do you, and not owning it. And there's just this very bold, balanced rebirth that you're directly going through at this point in time. And so it's not about, like, in your heart, you might go into, oh, good grief, do I just lock everyone out? And they're saying, don't do that. You don't need to. Stand in who you are. You still can be strong without having to block everything out. Yeah, it definitely does feel that, love. It feels like there is a new vitality. There's a new confidence. There's a less filter. The filter is the filter of truth. So if you're feeling inclined to say something, it's playful, it's bouncy. You're not wanting to go back into, I'm fearing everything I say, I'm walking on eggshells. You don't have energy for that, because that felt like sacrificing the true sense of who you were. And, you know, that's exhausting. It really is exhausting. It's part of an ascension process, but you're just moving on up. You like, I just keep saying, that song, you know, a moth to a flame, something is being attracted back into you because it's your frequency's just completely shifted. You're not hiding anymore. So do be prepared. Don't be surprised if you start having people come towards you and wanting to make that. It's like you've turned into the Empress. You're like, look, I'm sitting on my throne. I'm doing my thing. It's an evolved version of you. And it is you will realize how much this is changing every facet of your life, your health, your esteem, your home, your friendship groups, your money. It's changing everything. It's changing everything. It's up and up. And it's not to say, you also know, not from a ego point of view, you know that life isn't easy. You've got that, like, full card and tarot there. But it's also, there's a new shaped energy in your attitude. And because of that, you are going to be able to move through mountains, through them, not over them. I hope that makes sense. But you're going to attract things. You are very much. So don't be surprised when people start moving in towards you with greater respect, because it looks like you're actually attracting these energies at this point in time. If there's any other super chats, get them in now, because we are, after this next one, going to be closing the super chats down. Last call. Okay, so who do we have next? We have Dawn. Got to go do my physio as well. I'm glad to hear that, Tracy. Well done. Go girl. We'll have to get your autograph, eh? It feels exciting. I feel you tapping into next month's energy. That's why. Sacral chakra, Dawn. What's up? Okay, what's happening with the home? They're saying I think I put a post on Instagram in the, or Messenger, and the term that came to mind was level up. It's like, okay, it's time to get our shit together. All of us. It's like, okay, enough crying. It's time to level up. What PDF did we get? What do we need to do? How are we caring for our bodies? How are we communicating? Are we communicating effectively? So, Dawn, you have the sacral chakra. This is the second time this has happened. What's going on here? Moving on. Okay. You want to make an adjustment, but they're saying the first thing they said, it's not an outside thing, it's an inside thing first. What's going on inside? They're asking you to not discount that. Okay. So they're like, okay, hold up, yes. If it's an environmental situation, they're also saying that's got to match on the inside too. Your creativity is going to come back online, but you have there's an environmental factor at the moment that is dictating how you're feeling. They're also showing me the home, and it's like closing the curtains, closing the doors, locking the doors, and it feels very hermit, but it feels dark. Does that make sense? Like hiding in the home and feeling like it's a prison, but it's not really. It's a home, it's a light, it's an energy, it's protection. Okay, Adu. Okay, I'll add you, love. It feels like there's some energy that needs to be moved around in the home. You could be going, do I just live here anymore? Do I just sell it? And they're saying, change the energy first in the home and then decide. Don't make any abrupt decisions. Change the energy inside, dust out the cobwebs, clear the frequency, allow the lightness to come in. Don't feel you have to hide in it. You can be the door lock. Sometimes we look at the physical environment as the door lock because people be coming at us and we're like, just get out, leave me alone. We can have that vibration within ourselves. It doesn't need to be a prison we create for ourselves. Does that make sense? So you literally put salt in your door if you want to. If you don't want no juju, I can tell you, anyone who's going to be walking through that door, if they got ill intent, I used to absolutely laugh at this. I would clean my home, smudge it, etc. Great time to do it with Pisces energy. Clear your crystals, wash them with salt water, put them under your bed for protection, and you're probably going to have less nightmares at the moment. Some of you are going to have nightmares based on current transits. You could have out-of-body experiences, psychic attacks. Great time to flush because you want to get that fluid going through your body. You want to get, you can use, I wouldn't grab amethysts right now. This isn't a time where if your auric field isn't settled that you want to be going and channeling that because we're in that 29-degree point. You want to be clear and protected. Your guides will communicate with you if they need be, but putting the salt at the front door and you observe who has good intent and who has bad intent. And the good or bad intent is never going to harm you. What it's going to do is show you how they feel about life, if that makes sense. So I don't feel you in danger, but I do feel you need to change the vibration of the home. So, salt it. It could actually be having a shower with some Epsom salts, having a bath, just washing that frequency off. Getting the fatigue. If you're feeling really tired, if you're around someone, they could be going through something and you're just digesting it. So don't own it. Breathe in, breathe out. You can smudge your head or go and have a shower and tune into the things that you need to address. Your creativity is going to come back online. A lot of inner child subjects, a lot of subjects towards your family at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if you heard from your family, your mum, etc. There can be some transitions those individuals personally are going through. This creativity, though, they're saying be open to planting seeds. And this is going to be positive. You know, don't hold on to that energy. Don't discount your abilities. And how do I put it? It's almost like you could be looking at some creative ideas you have and then going, oh, this is never going to work. Look at the world. And they're saying, don't say that. Don't. It's needed. Okay. Yes, individuals that are not on your level are going to be shifting, but they're going through their evolution. It doesn't mean to say that, look, by choice, you can choose to take your energy where you choose. You are having a fresh beginning. There's a Page of Coins energy here. There's a brand new beginning you're going to be moving into. Yes, connections are going to be open. There are going to be opportunities for connections, but there's also, there is a person here who is very interested in you, and they're causing you at the moment a lot of grief. You're like, look, they have had some severe growth issues, okay? They need to grow. They need to move beyond the situation. And you're like, I can't even foresee it. They're saying, don't focus on that at the moment. Don't worry too much about that. That is something that person is going to move through. And as you are choosing your side, what's going to happen is it's actually shifting their vibration. Sometimes in the 3D, when we try to solve things, we mess it up. So it's like, let universe take the wheel. Let universe resolve that situation for you. Sometimes I think we really do need to move into Mother Nature and trust it a lot more. And it has its will. It's like it needs watering and there's fire, you're going to get some rain. So there's systems to the ecosystem. And they're saying, please trust that, because there is a method to the madness here, but they're saying don't allow your energy to be bogged down by feeling very heavy words. They're saying heavy words, never, couldn't, can't, hasn't, always. They're saying you've got to get that out of the vocabulary, because where that's taking you backwards is like you're owning that like a job you need to fix. And they're saying you don't have to do that because it's going to move quicker than you think. But they must hold that vibration. You're almost psychically detoxifying this individual, which is preventing them from having forward momentum. Many times they are very jealous of you, but what they're going to find inside themselves is the power that they have within themselves. And it's never been about you. It's always been about them. Once they have that revelation and that power's taken from them, they have to own their own. Now, on a separate factor, they're saying, it's almost like they're going, oh, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Like that's in the bag. Don't worry about that. But they're saying you have something that is more urgent, and it's the creative section. There could be something quite major, transitioning with a child. And again, I do feel this is quite a positive thing. I'm not feeling that it's negative. I think it's something quite exciting, but they're also saying your creative endeavors, you're alive. They're saying don't stop dreaming, because you're more than just this, okay? That is going to be resolved. They're saying don't stress about that right now, but do open up and get your energy balanced, and do start tapping into the things that you feel you're very passionate about, because they're going to be quite lucrative for you, and they're going to place you in a position in your life you've never been before. They want you to really have faith with that. So many opportunities, so many doors opening, so many doors. So they're saying don't stress about that right now. Some ugly green-eyed monster could be popping its head, but it's a compliment. It's not, I don't feel you're in harm's way. I feel it's the person having revelations. And I do feel the individual around them also noticing that there's a change behavior with them too. I hope that helps. Who do we have? We had to add Lois. That's right. Where am I? On Earth, I think. I'm on Mars. Am I on Mars? I think I am. Oh, yeah, well, her crown. You know what? I'm just going to be honest, Dawn. I don't know why I see a baby around her for some reason. Tell her that she doesn't want to be happy right now. Tell her to, be careful or buy a crown. I see a child. Baby. You want to be a nana? Nana. That's what my husband says. Oh, I can't believe I am a grandmother. My daughter started young. And she's the headstrong. I know. I just see I see a baby. Tell her to be careful. Antonella. Okay. What's happening with you, my love? Okay, bit of a detox. There's a detox. She'd be like, hell no. You'll have to tell me if this happens. It does feel pretty close, though. She'd be going down the shop and getting a test and going, that witch. I didn't cause it, I just saw it. I wasn't there, it wasn't me. Okay, Antonella, you have, okay, it's almost like you're moving through this detox, and universe is saying, I don't want you to be worried about, look, you got the devil card as the crowning energy, and I feel more in the context of there can be some old feelings and residue energy from previous situations that you could be taking into a new chapter, and they're saying don't get scared. There could be some paperwork that you're needing to address. And I'm hearing the term the devil in the detail, read the fine print, but also know that everything is changeable. And they're wanting to have a lot of confidence to go into this in a very fresh way. And they don't want you to allow things to kind of hold you back the way it was before. You're aware, but they're saying don't be paranoid. Don't be worried and looking over your shoulder. Justice is coming your way. It's going to be balanced. You're going to bring more balance into your life. And there can also be for individuals around you, maybe that weren't so fair. They're going to start coming back into a new sense of balance themselves. Yes, you definitely could have some travel. You do have worries. It's almost like they're saying, please do not second guess yourself. We do have such a habit of doing that. And emotions, especially at this time, can move into being heightened. They can create even paranoia for some of us, is because, you know, we are moving to that moon in the 29-degree point. We can be overzealous and really optimistic, and it's like have a healthy balance. If you go and try things before you say you don't want it, that's what they're saying. Because you have several parts here, but they're saying you're still going to need to create stability. So try to not bounce from hundreds of different situations at the moment. You're going to find you're going to get more achieved if you're very focused. And you might be balancing the scale between what is going to fit best in your life, what's going to fit in your home, you know, who do you want around you, where do you want to live, what are the people that are really lifting you up and supportive. Those things are very much changing, but you're directly changing as well. So in those areas of life, you could be really needing to look outside the box and say, okay, what is going to work best for me? I do see some contracts being signed. Again, it's hard, you know, because 9 times out of 10 we say don't sign contracts during Mercury retrograde. For some of us, we just really have no choice. It could be that we do need to actually address some things that are very old circumstances. If there have been delays in any areas, you may find over the next week we can have some forward momentum. And again, they're saying if you did need to live frugal at a point, they're saying keep that attitude going because it's going to get you to where you need to be. That can really help with savings, with bonuses. And again, I do see you being more private. I see you having to be private with certain individuals. We do have this individual here standing almost like, okay, I'm holding on for grim death. Sometimes how you can get wealth flowing, they say, is doing something for charity. It sounds odd. So it could be a charitable act. It might be helping a gentleman who can't walk very fast across the road, you know, a kind gesture of some description. And that giving, you're going to get that vibration coming back. Again, I do think they're saying you're looking at, okay, you do have a plan, you do have a goal. You can be concerned, am I going to make it through? They're saying you're going to be great. They're saying that it is going to strengthen. There are some people around you that are regretful, but it's almost like you're thinking, maybe tempted, that you want to go back to an old way of being. And they're saying you really can't, not in the same way you were before. You can give things a try. You might see that there could be a benefit in doing that. Yes, because we do have the Four of Coins in reverse. It might be for financial reasons. You're kind of going, okay, I might have to do this. That's a different situation. But again, you won't be going back into it in the same way. It's going to be, it's not going to be the same. They're saying you're not going to have the same outcome. And if you do get into that comfort zone of it, the direct evolution of what you're requiring isn't directly happening. They're just saying it really changed. That's weird. Here. You are going to get some gossip through the grapevine. There can be a person that you're aware of that is not having such a great time in their life. I'm hearing two people. One's family, one feels like it's a romantic situation. And I'm seeing that there's kind of like gossip coming through the grapevine, and you're kind of hearing this filtered information. They're also showing me that there's these two roads on a personal level for you that are going to actually create abundance. They're saying just be really practical with what you choose, be practical with what you're doing, but you're going to have to pull your attention into it. Because, you know, if you close a particular door, they're saying that door's not going to open back up again. So be very sure about what door you're directly closing, because there may not be any going back to that particular door again. So be very sure you're willing to cast that situation out, because if you do, there will not be any turning about on that. Okay. But again, paperwork. Definitely look at paperwork. Look at the devil in the detail. Be very, very honest to yourself. And that's where you're going to create that balance. Who do we have next? We have Giggle. Let's see what's going to come through for you. Oops. Wrong section to cut. Trying to plow through this. What do we have for you? Crap. Howdy. I love that. I'm going to have a quick drink. First crowning energy already looks interesting. It's like I haven't heard anything. You got air chakra. Interesting. Have you had an ear infection? High pitch ringing? Information coming through the ethers? There's one astrologer I was listening to the other day. I was like, ew, so true. Let me find her name. Try and find her. I better mute it so that you can't hear. Just for a second. Bear with me. I'll find the name and I'll come straight. Wait, I'm back again. Okay. Which, when I heard this, I will post it here. Where do I post it? In the chat. This is the astrologer's name. I watch her now and then. Love her energy. She's so young. But she said something I totally agree with. And it's that at the 29-degree point with the retrogrades, like we do need to be very intentional. So, you know, with it, if we have unfinished business with people, be it it's them or us, one of us has to reach out. And that would be my advice at this point in time for all of you. If there is somebody you want to communicate with and you have unfinished business with, this is the month to do it. Get on it or forever hold your peace. Like, this is it. It's a very interesting degree point. It is the 12th house. And we also do have between now and when the nodes shift, but this is quite a pivotal point with that. At the moment, you're looking at it and you're like, I haven't heard anything. Okay? I haven't heard anything. I'm sensing things. I haven't heard anything. And you're like, this is going to pass. Could also be from an instinctual point of view, you feel as though you are going to hear something, and this is where the anxiety is coming from. Like it's like the person can be coming through in the dream state, you might not even know it. And at the moment where you feel, it's almost like you sense in your sixth sense that something has happened. And it's almost like, okay, is this an ascension? Is this psychic? And I feel it's psychic. I feel what you're picking up could be quite psychic. You're like, what's happened? I do firmly believe many of us do have that telepathic connection with individuals. So if we have our vibration change all of a sudden, or we're instinctually thinking of someone, the first thing I do is I actually PM the individual. So if that factor has happened, it's giving you confirmation that the energy is coming from their way. It feels like a tower moment. It feels like something quite major. Okay, your first instinct is this is the person's pattern and habit, and I don't want it to become a pattern and habit. I don't feel they're directly happy in their life, but I don't want it to be based on the fact that the only reason that they're communicating is out of boredom or out of this is a fleeting moment. You are in the Queen of Swords energy. Like, it's not you don't love this person, it's that you want them to get what they want. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, no. It's got nothing to do with that. It's more, it's like, work it out. You really want them to work it out. You're like, I need you to be in hermit mode to reflect upon this. I need you to work out what this is. You would also really like to know what it is and where the clarity is. I do see communication. I do see like a text or letter. I also feel as like they're showing me something that, how do I explain it? It's like you might come through something on social media that relates to this individual, or and it's like the industry or something they're working in. And how do I explain it? Some industry they work in, you might hear some news about, and it's going to give you a PDF of what they're going through. It's like you had a sixth sense about something. Okay, you feel that there has been a bit of a white lie pertaining to wealth. Like you feel there's more than meets the eye in this, and you thought that they would be a bit more open, but there's something beneath the surface. There's more to this, and you're like, no, there's more to this. Is there the person maybe lost a job, they have a job, there's something to do with money here. There's more than meets the eye. They're not referencing you as an issue, but they are referencing something going on behind the scenes there. Something that's really causing some upheaval in their life. I feel as though they do want to discuss it, but things have happened so rapidly, it's kind of brought them backwards to address an old situation so they can move forwards. I do think it's reaching its closure point, but I do believe there's some details here that have not been shared with you. We've got the Devil card. I do feel a parent involvement in this circumstance. In some shape or form, like some connection to a parent in the circumstance of this situation. You're going to have the clarity. The clarity is coming towards you. This feels like, I don't know why they're referencing 3 months. How long has it been since you both communicated? Because it feels 3 months. It feels they're saying something to do with 3. 3 weeks, 3 months. Could be you get a phone call in 3 hours. But again, I feel whatever this is, it's been messy. It's been a long time coming. Some of these tower moments I feel for this individual, it's like they all popped off simultaneously, and so some very fast moving decisions had to be made. And it does feel as though they are coming back up for air, but I don't feel it's till the end of the month. It could be sooner. It could be as close as where Mercury goes direct. But I definitely do see it coming. I definitely do see them coming out of this situation. And you are going to actually have the clarity of it. November, December. Okay, so if we count now, January, February, March. So yeah, okay, so if we're basing it on this year, it's maybe energetically, let's pull up crown chakra for you, what you're picking up on. It could be, in fact, that it's by month's end, you're directly getting communication. I believe it's between the 19th and the 20th because we get, I believe, the moon. Let me check. I only got 3. That's a lot. Let's check the date. We have the lunation of the moon, which is on the 19th, and then Mercury moves station on the 20th. Yeah, so they're days apart, which is what I referenced at the beginning. His birthday is the 22nd. This is a very interesting month. But yeah, look, I see a pause. They're saying during Mercury retrograde, no. I'd say close by, moving, yes. And into that red fire energy, the changes you're going to be, mate, you need to be as grounded as possible. At the moment, the situation's not completely grounded. It looks a bit messy. But this person is going to have some answers for you. I don't think it's anything malice or intentional that they are trying to be nasty towards you. It's just very messy. So when they do come up for air, that's what they're referencing. They are going to explain everything to you, and you may actually be quite surprised. I don't get a bad feeling. Honestly, I don't get a bad feeling. I think it's unfortunate it happened that way, but I think it was something really where it's almost like an emergency situation, having to deal with a lot of moving parts. It became very messy and psychological, and I do see this person actually coming out in the open and expressing it. I hope that helps. Yeah, definitely. I can see a family connection to the situation, so that can be it the hair or not. And when I say family, I'm more referencing the lineage, the DNA family. Okay, who do we have next? Happy birthday to you. You're most welcome. Let's see. We go next. That individual giggle is always very interesting to read. Past life energy, Leo next. What's going on with you? You have a lot of shadow work you've been dealing with. You've got like this soul contract. This situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Feels like he's off the planet. Usually when you can't sense an individual's energy, it's because they're in the 3D actually dealing with a circumstance and because they're not sitting. So it's not a bad thing. It means they're busy in the real 3D world, which means they're not getting into trouble, which is a good thing. It's a good thing if they're not getting in trouble. I have my collagen powder. I'm on the recovery mode. Excuse me. Okay, so we have past life energy, a connection to another person. You're like, this person's in hermit mode. I do see you could be like, are they even here? We've got the hermit card in reverse. Those are fair-based frequencies, but it's also just understanding the energy and also being aware that with the nodes at the moment and where we had the eclipse and where we were doing shadow work can be very psychological. So sometimes we can jump to conclusions with things and we can feel certain things. You do care about this person. You don't wish this person any harm. In fact, sometimes you care so much that it scares you that running would be easy. It's almost like seeing something you truly value, but being scared if you got too close to it, it would burn you. It would abandon you, or you would abandon it because you just don't believe it can be. Yes, you are aware of imbalances. You could have had some revelations over the last few weeks. A lot of patterns really in the retrograde. But it's almost like there is this huge draw to this person all of a sudden. You know, you may not actually know this, but you are about to go onto one of the biggest passionate drives of your life. And if I could just hug you. How do I explain it? Just for the context of the cards that are here and knowing the transits. Pluto in Aquarius is very much like having a Venus house in Scorpio. And any of you that have Venus in Scorpio know exactly what I'm talking about. This connection is going to draw you in. Now, if you had no connection to this person whatsoever, evolution, change, or anything like that would not happen. You will know when there is a connection with an individual that is also consuming. It's like almost addictive. You will not be able to let this circumstance go. But it goes both ways. It does really go both ways. And the reason is that Scorpion energy, sometimes it's admitting that you don't like things easy. And so they can be patterns inside our personality trait that we want a book that's like full of story. We want a book that is not so roll out the red carpet and make it easy. Like, you know, we're scared. What are you up to? I don't trust you. We want a story to draw us in. And so that Venusian energy in a Pluto sign can be very addictive, but it's like, leave some mystery. Don't go to the toilet with the door open and hang out with me. Keep some mystery. So your energy with this person is going to really draw you in. The less you see them, the more addicted you will get. The less they see you, the more addicted they will get. And there is a balance in that, but there is a power. So we can have power struggles that crop up with Pluto. We can have paranoia. We can have obsessiveness and control. And they're the shadow signs of that. So being aware of it is positive, but definitely you're not going to be single. So I would not worry about being single whatsoever. But you also can have that really drawing you in right now. They're saying don't run. Okay, don't run. Yes, the person does have legs. They can get to you should they need to. But they're saying don't run. There's huge trust subjects coming up, but this all comes down to way back when. You're very worried about them. You're like, are they safe? Are they here? Are they not? Are they hurt? It's almost like it creates anger. It like creates anger because you're thinking, why are you making me feel these things? I don't like you because you're making me feel these things. But it's what we choose to focus on. That's how we feel. They're the deeper the truths inside of ourselves. You care about this individual. You might have also been looking outside the box about where to live. And, maybe reviewing some of the offers and reviewing some of the ideas you had for the future. I do see travel on the cards for you. This could be future tense, not necessarily now. But that was weird. So marriage, connection, moving to the next level. But I also see like change. I also see change in location. Have you tried to contact? Because it's weird. It's almost like you feel as though. Is it instincts? Let's see. Yeah, I ain't calling. They're saying keep busy because it's causing anxiety. But they're also asking you to actually focus on success. If you've had an evolution and a change through that retrograde, there can be a new chapter that comes here. But it's weird. It's almost like what they're showing me is you telling them how it's going to be. I think that's what they've been waiting for. It hasn't been, it can't. It's been about you saying, this is what's going to be. And I think that's what they're waiting to hear from you because they fear you're going to abandon them, but they need to hear what the plan is. It's weird. I don't see trouble showing up. I see you're worried about trouble. Trouble in general associated to the Venus house will be control and obsessiveness. There's a lot of addictive tendencies inside of that position. So, it's like believing that we don't have secrets, allowing secrets to be, allowing privacy to be. There's a lot of transformation, looking at interferences in the connection. It's all permission based. And, moving back into the power, it's a process you're going to be going through, but it also can create a very, very deep connection. okay? But it depends on how deep you're willing to go. This is saying this connection that you're tuning into at the moment is connected to a past life connection. But it's about how you're going to show up in this. Somehow you almost feel that it is this person's choices, this person's decision. They're actually saying it's not, it's your decision. And it's about you assertively going in and saying, this is how it's going to be. Okay? So it's almost like the tables have turned and somehow you now have the key. I'm going to leave that with you. You're the caveman. I don't know why they're saying that, but that's what they're saying. You need to be the caveman and tell this person how it's going to be. Tell me how that goes. Have I been there before? I have. We have Stella. I hadn't even been updating the list. Oh, what have I done? I deleted them. That'd be right. So we had Stella. And Lois. Correct? I believe I was. Yeah. If I missed anyone, tell me. It's like you, me, now we're in it, okay? This is what's happening. That's how it's coming through. And like, I don't know why, but they're going to love it. I'm just channeling what I've been seeing, what has been shown to me. Okay, you have the same card, Stella, but it's in reverse. It's like you're sort of like, okay, I've got. Are you tired, Stella? Thank you, Lois. I knew I was going to do it. I kept like the way I was like trying to cut the first one out was cutting the left one out. I was like, I need to make a backup copy. Note to self, make a backup copy. Make a backup copy. I need a backup copy. Oh, Stella. Tell me something fun. Okay. Oh, is this the other person? You're in a protected mode. You're tired. You will be. You'll be tired. You'll get more energy. You'll be looking after your wellness better. Your purpose in life, you'll be reassessing, like lots of transitions, brand new beginnings for you next month. And you're probably getting the seeding point this month. The card's already what they're showing me. I was like, what is this about? This isn't stellar. It's not, I don't think you don't purge. We all do. We're human. But I was not feeling this was your energy. I do think this is surrounding an individual that you have a spiritual connection with. And I think there is a subject matter happening in their side, something major. On your side, you're actually quite protected. You are. It's almost like the queen bee being protected by all the other bees. You know, so I feel at the moment you are white lighted, you're protected. But there is a person on the other side of this situation that you have a spiritual connection with. And it's weird. I feel like they're going through a transition. They're having a revelation that person that they are connected to is sort of like not. Now, it's not to say if you don't have a past life energy with a person, you can't have a relationship. I don't believe that. But the connection and the binding, it's almost like a karmic cycle. That's how it's been shown to me. The cards that have shown up for me, tuning into you, is not yours. They are about an external circumstance and a situation that these individuals are going through. We have them having a revelation that this is not a past life connection. It's a karmic cycle. It's a third party cycle. And it's almost like they're feeling now is the time to detox from this. It's to flush it out. Now, it had been on the back burner for a while. Why could these things be now manifesting? Is something I did mention a while ago, based on the position of Pisces between now and the next 6 months, as well as Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries. A lot of us aren't going to remain in karmic cycles. We are going to be more assertive, more bold, having revelations about where those areas of our life are holding us back and where we're giving our power away. And so this person has felt as though they have had a chain of very unfortunate events. This has impacted, it's like it's not feeling nice anymore. And it's not to say in life we don't have ups and downs, but in their mind, it almost feels like they've been waiting for a very, very long time to deal with this. And they had been going with the flow. They had the tradition they were looking at. But even that has been causing a lot of discord for them. The person that's surrounding them also isn't very practical. They almost spend a lot of money, like there is a lot that they're wanting. But I think this person has actually been putting away from a rainy day. They're chalk and cheese in their personality traits, if you know what I mean. This person, I'm going to pick a chakra card. I want to know what's going on here. It feels like they're creating an exit plan. Yep, exit plan. Let's pull a card. What are they trying to achieve there? Moving towards you, unbeknownst to you. I just want to go to bed. Could be, didn't talk. Clearing, deleting, cancelling. Yeah, like they're preparing. What are they doing? We've got karmic energy as well as the connection, spiritual connection between the TF. Putting money away in resources, keeping the cuts close to their chest, and creating an exit plan. Just a minute. They're being protected on this too. It's so funny. 2 cards came out. So cancel, clear, and delete. Use only positive words and thoughts, which is something I was already feeling. It's almost like they've got tunnel vision. They're walking into their life. They're like, look, this is it. I don't think they mean any harm to this person because I do think that they've actually spent time with them. So it's not they're being nasty or malicious. They're preparing themselves psychologically. They're going to make sure that person's okay, but they're cancelling the contract. So it says use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. Now, the next card that came up, the angels. So there is the protection that is assured based on this. Okay. Yeah, I think in a way you have been helping this. I think in a way both of you are moving into this new frequency of who you are. I feel giving the person resources. I just keep saying full card and tarot. It's like, okay, I'll just have enough of what I need and I'm going on my merry way. I honestly do not think there's a plan. apart from the intent to liberate. That's all I'm hearing. Now, this might come through in a very surprising way. This person has taken steps. This person is planting seeds, but they're also referencing a sudden event could happen that could be quite shocking, that will actually bring about a fresh beginning, and it's not going to be in the way either one of you thought. Yeah, it's not how you, and they said they don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to worry. They don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to problem solve. Just focusing on future, focusing on movement, because it's going to come about very naturally. Well, even to clarify to that situation, visualizing success and getting nervous, focus on services like, no, you're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to know. You're not supposed to have everything worked out. What you can be told is that this person has just decided. It just is. They have their essentials. They have what they need. They have the resources inside of them. They probably have put a little bit away, I would say that. But as to a massive plan, they're just feeling this instinctual get ready, instinctual prepare. And because of that, it's actually co-creating those doors to open. It may come about as a surprise, but they're saying the pieces of the puzzle are being moved. There's definite pieces of the puzzle being moved. And they're actually okay with that. I think before they weren't, but I think where they are now, they really are. At peace. That's all I have. At peace with the situation. Last but not least, Lois. How are you, Lois? I've been really tired. And then other moments I can't sleep at all. Drives me crazy. I'll be having a matcha latte. So Karmic's mother started following me on Facebook last month. Interesting. Let's have a look. I'm actually not surprised, Lois. Your crown chakra. Oh, interesting. Pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answers to your prayers. Have you asked your angels to help you with this? Because they're bringing some help. Oh, that's funny. The Karmic's mother. Interesting. Interesting. To me, how I would observe that is they are not together anymore. Or they're having issues in the relationship and they're trying to find somebody to blame or spy on, which is usually a compliment because it means if something's going wrong in the person's relationship, hey, we're not here, so that's not our fault. Unless they've heard things through the grapevine of what you're going through, but still, it's audacious. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's just send a friend request. Interesting. We have the separation card. Your lots, where are they? I always saw that person walking down your driveway. I'm hearing the term the last call. It's like this urgency that comes through in an individual when everything, sometimes we can have these experiences that can be really profound in life. And it's like suddenly it's like anything that we thought had an inch of importance suddenly just fades away. And it's like these are, and I think a lot of us have gone through that in the last 2 months. What's really important? Realistically, what is really important? So these truth vibrations come up beyond the ego. And I think this person is actually having one of those times. I still feel them very, very introverted. Like, how do I put it? I don't think if they are in the circle of these individuals, the first thing that gives me an inkling is it's breaking down. There's a lot of drama with that person and the connected energies. Like there's a lot of drama, but it's something that has been, ongoing. It's nothing new. Do you know what I mean? It's just how they're sitting with it doesn't feel as comfortable as it used to be. Outgrown. Yeah, that's about the best way I can describe it. Outgrown, like just doesn't resonate anymore. Now, the road I'm seeing is, now could this be yours? It could be. I'm seeing it's sort of like these wood frames at the side of a property, sort of like where you'd store a horse. Whatever this location is, I see this person walking. Now, I see it's either at the end of summer or the beginning. I don't see it super hot. I'll say that. And I do see some dust. Outgrowing, yeah. Like, it's not like they don't feel. It's almost like when somebody used to be able to manipulate you and you would get triggered and something like that. It just doesn't work anymore. It's like it's old. They've heard it before. It's a lot of acceptance. So I think when we outgrow something, we move into acceptance. So you are going to get some telepathic communication. You do have the crown chakra there. I do see this person in a very positive way visiting you, but they also do feel quite over just visiting you in the crown chakra, if that makes sense. I'm hearing come home, wanting to come home. But they're also saying ask your guides, because your guides are going to help you. Help me for this person to come home. Help me for this person to be safe. Whatever it is you're guided to say, yeah, nurture it. If you feel, also you could be having some things happening in, like I said, in your tribe and family, your home environment. If you have an urgency all of a sudden claim, it could be a signal. They're asking you to trust your intuition with that. You're going to get various signs that may not directly be through that person right away. But you are going to have various signs. It's almost like something inside of you is going to shift and you're going to know when go is. And some of these can come through in behavioral patterns, like you have an instinct to do something, you have an instinct to finish a task or to clean the house or to something. Okay, I want you to pay attention to those things. I'm going to ask what that individual following you has intentions of. Why? Why now, brown cow? Why now? Should we look? Oh. I think I need a full rest. Get those. Yeah, so just instincts, you'll know, Lois. You will know. Home-based business, you also can have some movement again. Yeah, like get everything in order. Things are going to start moving in that department. And that also can be another signal of physical movement that you're going to get. Okay, order their intentions. They know the connection between you and this person. They also have lost faith in the circumstance, so they're looking outside of themselves. And they do feel this person's slipping away from the circumstance and exiting stage. But the first thing they feel is the person's going to turn up at your door. They already know where they're going. They already know. They're watching. They're watching you. We'll love you and leave you. If time permits, I will come live and do an update for the new moon in Pisces and Mercury direct by sign. Otherwise, I will see you all on the other side in the membership hub and with the new content coming. Take care.